Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into Border City Rock Talk. You get great news, great interviews, great interviewees with sometimes a comedic touch. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment below. Today I have Cassandra Carson. 80s, you guys are going to know Cassandra from my George Lynch interview on the links and all that. How are you doing today, Cassandra? Is it Cass or Cassandra?
Cassandra, doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, apparently, not only is Doug and Bumblefoot homeless living in their cars, Cassandra is also, but
Part
that's
of the homeless gang. Love it.
yeah,
It's a great life.
it's part of the life, right? The lifestyle. So, I wanted to ask you a couple. Well, first of all, are you a friend of George Lynch?
Am I a friend? Well, I guess I would say so, yeah.
Okay, and you're a girl.
And I'm a girl, yeah.
Okay, girlfriend of George Lynch. George Lynch's girlfriend. Anyways,
No.
so
Don't be stirring up headlines.
oh man, wait, you wait. I mean, it's all done in taste, but no. So you, I would assume, I shouldn't assume. Um, did you meet George through Jaron?
Well, yeah. Um, so I met him for the first time back in 2019. When I was with Jaren. He was on the road with his band, Tantric at the time. And they had a night off, and so he said we're going to see George Lynch. So we went down the road to watch him with, I think it was Lynch Mob, right? And knew the owners of the venue, at least he did. And so they actually let us into the back of the VIP meet and greet line, and that's when I got to meet him for the first time.
Oh, so
And
it
it was
wasn't as a result of Jaron being in Lynch Mob.
no,
It was
it
before
was
that. Wow.
actually that kind of led into Cassandra's Crossing and into Jaren joining Lynch Mob from that moment. Because that
Oh,
night, um, the Tantric guys were kind of joking around with him when he were meeting him in the meet and greet. And
yeah.
they were like, by the way, if you need someone to sing Street Fighting Man, Cassandra is your girl. Because we had been like kind of playing around with it at their sound checks recently. And he was like, oh, really? Because we've got a fill-in singer tonight. I don't know if he knows all the words yet, so maybe you could help him out. And so I was like, what?
Really?
I mean, I do know it. Okay. So anyway, one thing led to another. I actually did join them on stage for
I
Street
saw
Fighting
that.
Man that night. And like, it's just baffling to me because he did not know me. Like I wasn't even in the band. Like I was just Jaren's girlfriend, Like and they're just these guys saying she's a good singer. Like he had never heard me sing.
Yeah.
None of the band members had, and so that's just
Well,
always, kind of crazy that people would take a chance on someone
I
like that.
I I kind of agree to a fact to a point because somebody like George, he picks his people around him. So if he has confidence in picking them around him, he's going to have confidence in listening to their opinions on something. So I don't know if George was even nervous. I'm sure George had figures. Yep, she must be good.
Yeah. So anyway, we end up, kind of staying in touch after that. And then yeah, Jaren joins Lynch Mob, and shortly after we decide to do Cassandra's Crossing, and
So
yeah, kind of crazy.
how did that come about? Garden of Earthly Delights. Now it was released October. I don't know if my memory serves me correctly, 25th or something in
Yes.
October.
Yeah. I want to say it was the 25th as well. Sometimes I
Oh,
think it's the 26th, and I don't know why.
huh. And on Frontier Records, obviously. So how did the project come about? And did you guys record it live in a studio or was it done with Pro Tools and that sort of thing?
Oh, well, I guess I'll answer the second question first. We
Okay.
recorded it separately.
Okay.
So, but the way that it came about was after Jaron had joined Lynch Mob, I went to just visit him and watch a show down in Destin, Florida. Um, excuse me, a couple of Octobers ago. And yeah, I was just there as, like moral support for Jaron. But whenever I got there, George was like, are you going to see Street Fighting Man with us tonight? You should. And I was like, well, if you want me to, I still know it. And so I went ahead and did that with them again, and it was so awesome. I got to sing the whole thing that time. But it was just like a really great experience. And
I can imagine. Your cell is cutting out. I think you guys are in a tunnel. Can you hear me?
after he got off stage. So whenever I picked him up and was driving him out, we were just kind of talking about the show. And
Yeah.
like I said, I had really, a great time sharing the stage with him, and it was so much fun. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, you're a great singer and loved your energy on stage." And I just kind of was joking around. I was like, "Yeah, but next time we should do some Dirty Shirley, and like
Oh
that
yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
really cool." And he was like, "You know Dirty Shirley? What?"
I,
And I'm like, "Yes, are you kidding me?" And so then he was like, "Well, it's funny you mentioned that because he was going into the studio the next week to record the second Dirty Shirley record,
right.
but Dino was not going to be singing on it. So he and the record label, wow, I can't talk, record label, were both looking for a vocalist for this album. So he was like, "Do you want to do this? Like, you should definitely do this. I think that would be a great pairing. Like, do you think you could sing like a bluesy, soulful rock album?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I could do that." And literally, like, I think it was a week later, maybe 10 days later, George sent me a Dropbox link, and I was connected with Frontiers, and he was like, "This is the girl. Um, you know, Cassandra's the vocalist," and was really fighting for me and pushing for me.
Wow.
Um, so from there, I just like started writing to songs one by one and recording demos. And as I would record a demo at home, I'd send it to George and just be like, "Let me know what you think and send me your input." And we kind of just fleshed the songs out that way.
Wow. So George handpicked you. You didn't go asking. He handpicked you.
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit. Can you say that again?
Yeah, I said George handpicked you. You didn't go asking. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is insane. It's wild.
So, a lot of women are into rock now. Like when I was growing up, it wasn't so. I got a question. Like, I mean, and you play guitar too. Like, I mean, you play some mean guitar, which is great. Now, this question I don't think I've ever asked in any of my 300 interviews I've done over the years. What rock band and say that you're looking at in your age demographic are you saying that's really something to look out for? They're the tops, as I would say in the 80s with Dokken, Van Halen, Def Leppard, Tesla, Judas Priest. Who are you guys in your age group looking at as great hard rock bands right now, besides Paralandra and all that?
Ooh. Well, for me, I mean, like Dirty Honey, I feel like they're just killing it right now, and they have some great songs. I just love listening, to albums straight through. And so
Yeah,
whenever I can find a band that I can do that, I can just go top to bottom through an EP or through an album, like Mad Respect. And then also there's like the live show element,
yeah.
and they're great live performers. And so I feel like bands like that you need to watch out for. Mammoth, I would put them in the same category. Just great musicianship, great songs, and like that's kind of what it's about for me.
What would Jaron say?
What would Jaron say?
uh,
He would say,
I don't know, hard man. It's like I old stuff, but the new stuff that I like are just like bands that have been around forever that just nobody knows. So like, I have a hard time finding like new bands, but I would always say Paralandra because for that I would tell people, I'm like, dude, you got to book this band, and like I would try to never say it's my girlfriend's band because how many people probably come in there and say, oh, you got to book my
right.
girlfriend or
Yeah.
my husband or whatever.
Or
So
my
the few,
daughter or my daughter's band. Hey, oh,
yeah, so I try not to be that
Yeah.
guy, but the few people
yeah,
that, started to catch on early on and started having the band, I love to be there and look over and look at their face when
yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
playing their first song. And I'm like, exactly, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's all power and it's, so I would say Paralandra, of course, is a new band that's active out working.
Right on.
It's hard. I'm a young guy, kinda, but a young guy in my genre. I'm not that young in the new rock scene, so
Yeah.
uh, I was just bred into all that older stuff.
Right on. Well, thanks. Hey, everybody, we had a guest walk on stage. It was Jaron from Lynch Mob. It was right on.
I didn't even pay him to say that.
No, well, I mean, he knows who's buttering
It's
his
true.
bread. No, I'm just joking.
No, it's true. He's been our biggest, like, one of the biggest supporters ever since we met him.
Guitar solos, powerful vocals, and good songs with energy. That's what's really missing in rock today.
Yeah.
My opinion, just my opinion.
No,
More
I hear
guitar
you.
solos. Always.
What's that?
I said always more guitar solos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't go wrong with more guitar solos for sure. So you've got a few other projects going on. Paralandra's got a few shows coming up. Tell us about those and tell us about your other project, Cassandra.
Yeah, so Paralandra has a lot going on as usual. So, well, but right now we're kind of in a period of no shows until May. So, it's May 17th that things kind of kick off again in Henderson, Kentucky. We're playing Summerfest, and it's their fourth annual. I've heard good things about it, so excited for that. We've
Right.
got a few more shows in May, and then we're going on tour with Rehab for their 25th anniversary tour. And that's in June. We're going around, like, what is it, Oklahoma, Arkansas, going to Nashville. I'm super stoked about that. And yeah, tour dates just kind of like pouring in through the rest of the year. And rumor has it we may be releasing some music by
Wow.
the end of the year. We'll see.
Right on. And you said you had another project on the go.
Oh yeah. So in
Oh
addition to
yeah.
all that, the life project.
Yeah.
I am so excited about this. It's been like, I think 3 years in the making. We've got 2 EPs coming out this year, and they they're sounding killer. I'm really excited. We recorded them in the Dolby Atmos
Hmm.
studio. So it's like the kind of 3D surround sound, like listening experience, how
Right.
that system works from a different perspective,
Yeah.
within music. And like, why do we use certain instruments and where do we put them sonically? And like, I don't know, it just became like really interesting to me. So that whole process was super cool. But great songs, of course. That's super
Are you
important. And can't wait for everyone to hear them.
are you releasing two EPs so um you can what's that word? Support the one with some shows and then release the second one as opposed to usually EPs in my opinion are just, 6 to 7 cuts instead of a full album. Are you doing it that way so you can support each or am I off base?
Well, I'll let Josh Rand answer that question. I don't really know, but I feel like it's gonna be nice to kind of like cut it up song.
Right. Your voice you cut out. I'm not sure. You still there?
More of a spotlight.
Okay.
So I listen per se. So people can, so that means I'm gonna come in and out. My back.
Right. So where are you guys right now? Are you in the mountains? You keep cutting out.
Where are we?
We're in New Jersey.
We're in New Jersey.
Oh, did they have
Uh,
bad internet? No, I'm just
Headed
teasing.
to some band practice.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I can
Um,
work with this.
okay.
So,
But yeah, please, whatever your question was, go ahead.
so is there, you guys gonna do any live shows with the Life Project?
Like the plan, I wish that we were, and that the plan was to do that for right now. But not at the moment. It's kind of just up to Josh and like what he's able to do physically, because you know he had a pretty extensive surgery about a year ago, so something like that. Um, and it's been like a really long recovery. It was
Okay.
like 9 months of no bending, lifting, or twisting.
Hey, I
And the
do
last
that
we talked about
regularly.
it, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, makes it
Yeah.
really difficult to
Yeah.
sit and play guitar because that
Yeah, for sure.
requires like kind of sitting weird, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, you know, you talk about playing live shows, and like if you've ever seen him perform live, he's a headbanger. Like
Yeah.
that guy is not just standing there like strumming along. So,
Yeah.
um, definitely one day, yes, we want to get this show on the road. There's no plans for it at the moment.
Okay.
So, but
That's fair
we're
enough.
still releasing music. We're still planning on, you know, continuing to work together. So, yeah, that's just where we're at for right this moment.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh yeah. I saw you perform with Jeff Scott Soto recently.
Yes. Yeah, that was crazy.
What?
Monsters of Rock Cruise
Yeah.
2023.
Oh, it was 2023. Okay. So what was it? I've interviewed Jeff a few times
Or
and
24.
24.
yeah,
2024. Sorry.
yeah, it was about a
Can't
year
believe
ago.
it's
Yeah.
25 already.
So what I haven't been on a cruise yet. I'm gonna do it next year. I'm gonna do the cruise. So what is it like? Is it like what everybody would think, just one hell of a great party, and wherever you turn, there's nothing going on but great music and meeting, you're not I wouldn't say my idols, but people that I would look up to in the industry and I respect.
Absolutely. Yes. Just at all times. It is so crazy. And like, I was a person that was like really scared of cruises and like swore I would never go on one because I'm like just really freaked out by the ocean
Oh,
in
really?
general. Like, um, it's just like whales and sharks.
Yeah. But the
In
boats are the size of cities.
So, yeah, but the boats are so huge that like once you're on there, it's kind of like just being on a big mall in a way.
Yeah, yeah,
And like
exactly.
there's so many different theaters and restaurants and venues, and like of course then there's like the pool deck, which is a really cool stage and just like hangout spot. Um, so, you know, someone who was like really scared of it at first, now I've been on like I think 5 or 6 cruises
Oh,
and I
wow.
love it. And yeah,
So
highly recommend. They're so much fun.
give us a wow moment. What you must have had a wow moment on one of those cruises where you're walking around and you bumped into somebody on the elevator and you're like, holy fuck.
I mean, all the time. It's like
Oh,
literally multiple times a day.
oh
Like you have
wow.
no idea. They're just wandering around like normal people. There's Kip Winger sitting on a little whatever you call it, chase lounge. Thank you.
Did he have a
Then
Lexi Fox mirror?
oh my gosh, not that I saw. It could have been
Okay.
hidden. And yeah, and then like, you know, you see Reb Beach at the buffet. He was just like sitting behind Jaren one of the first days, and I was like, wow, that's pretty wild. And then of course Nuno's just like wandering around. When I was on the Kiss cruise, I was just like backstage watching The Darkness at one point and turned to my right, and Paul Stanley was standing right next to me, and we like locked eyes for a second and I ran away.
Was that creepy?
It was shocking. I mean, like it is the Kiss cruise, like, and they are wandering around.
Yeah.
Um,
Was he in makeup?
saw Dean outside of the elevator once.
Wow.
It
And you know
was like
what? In a
so
few
crazy.
years, people are going to come on my show and say, you know what? The elevator opened and Cassandra Carson came out. I was like, holy fuck.
She was like, "Where's the buffet?"
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd like to thank
Yeah.
you for your time so much. I mean, this has been great. Thanks, Jaren, for driving and keeping her safe. I'll put links below everybody. To everybody, I'm talking to myself right now. Links below the in the description box for Paralandra, Cassandra's Crossing, Lynch Mob, anything Jaren's doing, it'll be down there. What's the opposite of unsubscribe?
I think that would be subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel or Jaren's gonna kick your ass.
Yikes, don't do that.
No, Jaren will kick their ass.
Yeah, I don't
One
recommend
Mountain
it.
Dew away from going crazy.
And what's your do you have a favorite Canadian band or artist?
Canadian?
But not Rush.
I mean, I like Annihilator. I like Annihilator.
Oh, Annihilator. Jeff Waters. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was big into thrash and still am, and so I like a lot of the heavier stuff. You know, Sacrifice, Exciter.
Voivod.
But you know, there's good stuff too. You know, well, not only that, but then you know, you got Killer Dwarfs had some cool stuff. I think
I
they're
love the
Canadian,
Killer
right?
Dwarfs.
Maybe not. You
No,
know,
the Killer
Fashion
Dwarfs
Box
is-
Canadian. You know, he came out there.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, man.
I appreciate it. Well, thanks again, guys, for taking the time out, and we'll chat soon.
Cool. Thanks for having me and Jaren.
Thanks.